Hello, and welcome to the Mary F. English program's training video for Designing Professional Flyers, part of our module series on professional communication. As an educator, you will likely need to design a number of flyers for your various activities in class, be they homework assignments, upcoming events, or general take-home flyers for parents. It would look unprofessional for you to send home flyers that don't look good and are riddled with small hiccups. Because of this, learning how to build and design a good, professional-looking flyer is extremely helpful to future teachers. To begin with, we will want to start with Microsoft Publisher. Start with a blank 8.5 by 11-inch sheet. The reason we want this size is so that it will be easy to print and distribute to students, parents, and other faculty members. The first thing we'll want to do is put a nice title on the top of the flyer. If you aren't familiar with Publisher, the easiest way to insert text is through a text box. Let's click Draw Text Box, then draw where we would like it to go. Use the ruler on the top to measure your size. To keep it even and centered, I'm going to draw my text box from 1 inch on the left to 7.5 inches on the right. This will leave me with 1 inch of space on both sides. Then, I'll make sure my text is a good size to see it. I'll probably want my text size to be about a 48 point. Now I write my title. Maybe I wanted to say something like Groundhog Day Party to let my students know about an upcoming event I'm planning for class. Once you've written your text, highlight it and select Align Center to make it look as centered as possible. Next, I'll want to insert a section to add in the details of my party. What time, what location, and so on. This can be done a few different ways, such as with another text box, but to give my flyer an extra hint of professionalism and organization, I'm actually going to use a table. To keep it simple, mine will just be a 2x4 table. Unlike in Word and PowerPoint, when you insert a table in Publisher, the default is for the table to not have a border. This is perfect for us, as it allows us to have a nice, clean look for our flyer. Moving my table around and resizing its cells is extremely easy. Just point and click. Now I add in my information. There we go. Our flyer is coming together, but it looks a bit boring right now. This is a good time to add in a graphic or image to help liven things up. First, let's put a space between our title and our info table. To keep things looking crisp and clean, we can look for a guideline as we move our table around. This is Publisher's way of letting you know when an object is centered with something else. You can find plenty of suitable images on a Google image search. Just make sure they're school appropriate. To find more fair use images, I recommend adding clip art or stock image at the end of your search. If you're going to use a school graphic, there may be certain regulations that you have to follow. When in doubt, contact an administrator to avoid misuse of school-related graphics. Once you find your image, just copy and paste. You will have to resize the image to get it where you want it to go. Don't forget to line it up with the guidelines a Publisher provides. Often, it's best to stick with just one image on your flyer, because too many images can make a flyer look busy and unprofessional. Next, make sure you add some contact information at the bottom. This can be done with a simple text box, and the text can be a bit smaller than the rest of the flyer. Be sure to include a phone number and email address so parents have a way to contact you, but remember to make sure it's your professional contact information. You don't want your personal email or your personal phone number being used. Don't forget to line it up with the other boxes and make it aligned in the center. We're almost done. Our flyer looks pretty good now, but we need to try to spice it up a little more. In the Page Design tab, we can play around with different color schemes and backgrounds until we find the one that we like. We can also change the fonts effortlessly from this menu. Keep playing around until you find something that you like. Once you think you're all done, it's time to see what the finished product will look like. Select File, Print to see a visual of what your flyer will look like once it's printed. It's good to do this so you can see it without those nasty guidelines. If you're comfortable with what you have, it's time to print. You may be required to attain administrator approval before you can hang a flyer or give it out to students or parents. Be sure to be up to date on your school district's policy on teacher-designed flyers and handouts. We were able to effortlessly design a flyer for our students using Microsoft Publisher in just a short amount of time. If you take the time to learn the program well and actually learn its unique qualities, you'll be amazed at the type of materials that you can make. And so will your future coworkers, students, and parents. This concludes our tutorial on designing professional forms and flyers. I hope you will use the information presented here when designing flyers for your future classrooms. Don't forget that these materials can make a big difference when trying to catch a student's attention. Thank you.